Amazing. So we're live on Facebook. Everybody, thanks a lot for joining. And once again, we are here with Ben and William, and they're founders of Publist, an amazing app which brings all your cloud apps together so you don't have to jump around and look for your files. And in this webinar, we will be talking about their journey, about their product, and what to expect from buying the Publist. So guys, if you could maybe start by introducing yourself a little, and then we'll jump right into it.
Yeah, perfect. You want to go ahead?
Sure. So my name's Will, as Jakub so kindly introduced me, and I've been writing code for a very long time. I started working at MIT when I was 14, and I wrote audio analysis code there, and then I went on and all through high school I worked at a ton of different startups. And then I continued to work at startups in the Valley and continued to write code and continue to learn more. And finally got around to starting my own company, and that's Publist. So Publist began as a news aggregator, actually, and so this is sort of the long path through how we got here. And so we started to look at other data beyond news and what other things we could do. And we looked into social media, and we looked into sort of SaaS apps, and we looked into the cloud. And one trend that we identified was that everything was very, very siloed, and that all this data was sort of locked up in each one of these individual applications. Mm-hmm. And that personally annoys me, because I'm stuck logging into a lot of different accounts to just get my files. And it's not as easy as it was when I had everything centralized on my desktop.
That's true.
So we noticed this trend across pretty much all data that we came across, and finally decided to do something about it. And so we said, this is the problem that we want to solve. And so we want to solve the loss as we move to the cloud, and as everything sort of transitioned into websites, and we did all our websites, we realized that we lost a part of the desktop that was so important, which is the ability to centralize everything and keep it organized in one place. And it's hard to do so effectively with the cloud. And so we wanted to sort of become the operating system, become the underlying layer under all the cloud apps that we use, which are fantastic applications. And it's the reason we use so many of them today, and we're just addicted to cloud software. So we really aim to unify all the software that we already use and make it simple to access data and files and manage everything all in one place, just like our desktops.
Yeah, great overview of Publist. And I'll do a introduction. So I'm Ben. I came on a bit later than Will. I started working with Publist about a year ago. I've worked on all sorts of random startups. I actually started as a day trader. And did a lot of trading.
Oh, really? Okay.
Cryptocurrency. That's actually where my first two startups were. And last, I was actually working on a project in Seattle. We're trying to tokenize the carbon trade. And while I was doing that, I was traveling through San Francisco and met Will, and ended up pretty much squatting in his apartment for a night. So after that, once I stopped with that startup, I reached out to Will, and we've been working together ever since. So it's been great, and super excited about Publist and Pitchground.
That's an amazing journey and amazing introduction. Guys, thanks a lot. And I see more people are joining on Facebook too. And I'm happy to announce that the deal is live on the website too. I just got the update from Udit. So you can check it live on the website. And of course, if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask us anything here in the comments on Zoom or in the comment section down on the Facebook. But let's continue, guys. So you met in San Francisco. You were squatting there. What happened the first thing? Let's say that you wanted to start building this thing together. So how did you join?
Yeah, that's a good question. So when I met Will, he was already working on Publist and had been for a long time. And back then, Will can talk a bit more about this. But back then, Publist was all about news and getting all of news from all of your sources in one place. And yeah, it's been a crazy journey getting from news to where Publist is today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we as I mentioned, we sort of saw this trend in data, and I remember Ben and we first met in one of our investors' offices. We were sitting there, and we just ended up talking about his work and what I was working on, and just sort of had that click and realized we could work together really, really well. And so, as it's been such a journey getting Publist to where it is today, and building. We've written tens, if not hundreds of thousands of lines of code to solve this problem. And so it's been just figuring out everything along the way with Ben has been just a phenomenally interesting process.
Yeah, it was really interesting. So when I first came on, I was just doing sales, like doing a lot of calls, talking to tons of people about how they do news. And like, I ended up getting so few people that were interested in news and so many people just hearing data from all their apps. And it was just incredible validation for the idea that we later built and what's now Publist.
Why do you guys think that you work so good together? Like, what are the personality traits that makes you a great team?
Huh.
That's a good question.
That's a good question, actually.
We always joke like it's amazing we don't hate each other, because we've been basically in the same room for 16 hours a day for like the last 6 months.
6 months at least.
So, do you guys have some like personal lives actually, or
no?
I mean, if you guys are watching right now, these guys are real deal. They are just working on their startup, so you need to listen to them right now.
It's tough when there's only 2 of us. We're just trying to keep up with everything, and we want to get everything that everybody in Pitchground needs and wants. So.
Exactly. There's sort of infinite things to do, and we just have to keep doing everything. So, to your question, that's a really good. It's a really good point. I see someone just asked about a Microsoft Office integration. Yes, there will be Office 365. And there's already the OneDrive integration, so we're getting there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main reason we worked well together is like Will. Like, it's incredible watching him because he has just an abundance of ideas. Like, it's insane to watch. I don't know how he comes up with the amount of product ideas he does.
That's interesting. Okay,
it's been really incredible and definitely really inspiring to see. And then me, I mean, I'm a lot better at talking to people, figuring out what's going to work, what doesn't, narrowing things down. And so yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah, it's a good sort of dichotomy. We've got Ben, who's able to sort of be a filter for the things I'm thinking about, and get people to say whether it's a ridiculous idea or whether it's one that we could actually build. And so that's been, I think we just complement each other in a lot of ways, and have a good kind of balance between product and customer.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about your product itself. So you figure out that there is a need to like unify all the cloud apps, which is actually a lot of them right now, in one place. What were the first apps you started with?
So the biggest ones obviously were the ones we use, which were Google Drive and Gmail. And then we went on to things like DocuSign and pCloud. Dropbox was a big one for us. Trello was the one that followed that, not because we store files in Trello, but one really interesting thing Ben noticed was that people actually were using Trello as a file manager, sort of in the way that what we're going to do with Publist. And so people would organize files in Trello boards, which is actually a clever hack if you want free cloud storage, but it's a Trello board. And so that was an interesting one because we saw that theme sort of again and again. I don't know if you have anything to add.
Yeah, that was probably the best validation we ever got for Publist when I was doing all of these calls. Was like, I talked to so many people that had their own DIY methods to like build basically homebrewed Publist. Like I talked to people that were using Zapier and pulling all their files into Dropbox. People were putting files on Trello cards. People had Google Docs just full of links to different files just to keep all their files like in one central place with their team, just to keep everybody on board. And I think that's when we really knew that, okay, there's a real problem here. There are people that could use this, and we could definitely make people's workflow a lot more efficient.
Yeah. So you actually didn't do the mistake that a lot of founders do, that they just start building right away, and you actually start validating your idea too, right?
Yeah, we got a lot of feedback from a lot of people really early on, and we're still optimizing. So love all the feedback we're getting in Pitchground.
Yeah, the feedback, it's honestly amazing because it's like that, beyond anything, any of the ideas I have or the ideas Ben has, like it's what people really want that matters, because at the end of the day, we're building for everybody. And so it's not just us in our own echo chamber saying, this is what I want, and this is what I want. It's really, how can we help the most people?
All right, this is actually quite interesting topic. How can we help the most people? Because the question I like to ask founders and emerging entrepreneurs, like, what is the big vision with Publist? What do you want to like really build? Because I mean, you're 16 hours a day together. You needed to think at least once about this thing, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, how much time do we have? Exactly. We could go on all day.
Okay, so just a few sentences.
Yeah. You could probably talk about that. Apps is the real thing.
Yeah. So to encapsulate it, I guess, like as I mentioned earlier, we really want to be an operating system for the cloud. And so the way we see it is we've sort of lost the best parts of our current operating systems on our desktops by doing all our work in the cloud. And so we want to bring that back with Publist. And what that means is, we want to start with a file system. We want to start with storage because once you've centralized all your data, it starts to become easy to centralize all your work too. And so while right now we do a lot of work in a lot of different websites and a lot of different SaaS apps scattered across sort of silos on the internet, we're starting to think that the next big direction for Publist is going to be taking your storage and putting apps on top of it. And so much like Windows does, or much like OS X does, we want to make it really easy to build applications on top of Publist and actually create things like document editors, photo editors, spreadsheet apps, notes apps, anything that you can imagine, anything that exists today, to build in Publist and run on top of our file system. And so centralizing work is sort of the big long-term goal for us. And we want to start with building our own apps and building a suite of Publist productivity apps, which will be coming out by within the next 12 months. And then following that, we want to open up our platform to third-party developers to let people sort of go wild and build whatever they want to extend Publist with. And so that, I guess, feel free to ask any questions specifically, but that's kind of the big vision, is we want to take it.
So all right, this is like the huge big vision. Where do you want to take it? Thanks for answering. This is quite impressive, guys, what you were building. But what are you having right now? Because I know that it's not just only app for connecting all your other apps together, but you have quite other features there as well, right?
Right. So we took a look at sort of the best cloud storages today, and we said, that if we're going to connect all the apps in one place, we also need to be able to store files in one place. We need to offer people the place to centralize things. So we want Publist to be, if you just want to access your data, it's easy to do that. It's easy to connect all your apps and start to look at every file. Sort of will pull in every file, but won't actually store those files. It'll provide a link, or basically a reference to the file in your account. And so that's easy to do. And then if you want to organize your files, if you want to access them in one place, Publist is sort of the place to do that as well, where we have our storage. And we've sort of tried to build everything that Dropbox offers, everything that OneDrive offers. And there's certainly a lot of features that we want to build, but we want our storage to be a place so you can take and drag any of your files from your apps in Publist, and it'll load the file in from that app and let you organize and centralize data sort of in a way you have before.
So go on.
Yeah, and we want people to be able to organize their files in a collaborative way too. So like one of the things we're working on in the near future is more Teams functionality. And one of the really interesting things we're doing with sharing is making shared drives. So like in Google Drive, you have to go and edit the permissions of your documents.
Oh yeah, that's just I hate this. I hate this, especially if I have a company account. I need to do like maybe 5 extra clicks, because if you have Google Suite, it's not on default that you can share the link and it will show to other people. So I need to do a lot of steps to actually share the file from my Google Suite. So you're building on something which makes it easier?
Yeah, so I've heard that from tons of people. And the way that we simplified that process is, since you already have all of your files in one place on Publist, why not just drag and drop them into a whole folder or a drive that you already shared with your friend? So like if I want to send something to Will or work on it together with him, I just have a file or a drive for Publist, and I just drag and drop files from my apps, from my desktop, from my other storages into that folder.
That's amazing. So how many apps do you currently support?
I think we're up to 11 right now.
But you are still working on a new apps, because I noticed that some people were asking about some integrations in group, and you said, yeah, we can do it. And as I know you guys, it will be done in a few days. So
yeah, hopefully. Yeah, we've got a pretty big coming soon list. And yeah, we're trying to make integrations as quick as we can.
Yeah, we've got, it's built out so we can build them really quickly and integrate them really quickly. And so we just want to plow through our coming soon list.
I see. We have a question here from Bill. Can you please explain storage limits?
Yeah. So, okay. So there's sort of, obviously it's kind of new. We bring in some new stuff into cloud storage that may not immediately make sense or be familiar. And so obviously files that you drag in from your desktop and store on Publist, those will immediately, just like on Dropbox or any other storage, count against your limit. And then your connected apps. So apps you connect, the files in them, as I mentioned earlier, are sort of just links to the file in that app, and it just points to where the actual file lives.
So those won't count against any of your storage.
Won't use anything, exactly. And so they only start to use your storage if you drag files from within your apps into a Publist drive. So basically, any file in a Publist drive is stored, and then any file that's in your connected apps is, Bill, to your question, is not mirrored. But it's actually just sort of linked to the original file. So it'll serve as a way to open the original file. But if you actually want to get at that file, you'll need to move it to a drive or double click it to open it, and it'll load the file down from the cloud.
That's a really good explanation. I mean, I'm not a very technical person, but I believe that you actually explained it to Bill really well. All right, guys, we were, I was calling with Ben yesterday about really interesting thing that you have a roadmap you are having, and you will be publicly having available on your website. So can you tell me a little bit more about it? So what can we actually see there? What can we find there?
Yeah, so it's if you want to see the URL for anybody watching, it's publist.app/roadmap. And so these are the things that we want to accomplish in the next 12 months. So two-factor auth was the first thing on the roadmap. We've already finished that. The next few are going to be client-side encrypted storage. So we want to build sort of an equivalent to the pCloud crypto folder, but have you be able to create multiple drives with this encryption, and so you can really secure your most important data. Obviously, lots of new integrations. We'll be doing things like sort of improving search, improving sorting. A big one that we had a number of conversations about in the groups over the past few days has been file and media embedding. So we want to make it possible to take videos and embed those easily, take PDFs, embed those easily, take spreadsheets and slides, and basically any file you store in Publist, we'd like to be easily embeddable on the web. And this might include things sort of Wistia-like features for videos and managing files. Following that, we want to expand our support for white labeling, so making it really easy to use the Publist interface to build on top of and add to your already existing applications. We'll be adding a desktop app, and then, as Ben mentioned, a lot of drive sharing and sort of permissions. So we want to make sharing really, really interesting and really convenient. We'll be doing things like a Chrome extension, easy download management for all your web downloads. We'll be improving our media player so that you can have playlists and play videos really easily and play music.
A lot of stuff.
Anything that you could need to do with a file, it's going to be in Publist.
Exactly. We really want to bring back the idea of your desktop, where everything was easy to do, files were easy to work with, and it was simple.
I think we got a question on the white label.
No, I mean, only from a few things you said, it's actually quite a no-brainer to grab a lifetime deal right now, because you will buy it once and you will have access to these features in the future.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I mean, I'm buying it.
It's not just cloud storage. No, once you get the lifetime deal, I mean, you're going to have access to so much that we're going to be building in the future. Yeah,
exactly. All right, guys, let's talk about another big and important topic for me and for a lot of people as well. I saw them asking questions about it, which is security. How can I know that nobody will steal my files?
That's a great question, and one we get a lot. So that's something that I've worked on. I've worked on a lot of encryption stuff in the past for other companies. So that experience applied really nicely to this. So obviously, every cloud storage sort of uses a similar kind of encryption to completely make your files inaccessible without a key. And so we store, we use AES 256 encryption to store all the files. And then obviously we use transport security, which is HTTPS. Probably a lot of you are familiar with that. So that prevents man-in-the-middle attacks, so nobody can read your data going from Publist up to the cloud and vice versa. So this AES 256 encryption I mentioned, it is sort of government grade. It's the same stuff the government uses for top secret materials. And it involves a key that is used to sort of encrypt the data and also decrypt the data. And so that key is stored on AWS. So our partner for cloud hardware is AWS. And so Amazon actually manages that key. And so the key through Amazon service, it's actually inaccessible to us. So we have no ability to decrypt any file, which is obviously a very good thing for security. And then, so these keys are sort of accessed in a few moments by our servers, and then Amazon erases them off our servers. And so the files are decrypted and sent down to you, and then sent back up. And as I mentioned, we'll be adding client-side encryption.
All right. I will stop you here because we are going way too technical. So I don't have to, I don't have to be afraid for some guy just going through my invoices.
No, for everybody who's
that's what I needed to know.
Everything that Dropbox and pCloud does, we've got it handled.
Yeah.
All right, amazing. I see some questions on Facebook. Can data be transferred from one connected drive to another, say from Google Drive to pCloud?
Right now, so that's a feature on our roadmap. Right now, that's not possible, but we'd like to add sort of support to send files into all your cloud storages. So should you not want to use the Publist storage, you'll just be able to drag and drop files just as easily into Google Drive or Dropbox or pCloud.
Amazing. All right, another question from Joe. So can we visually organize files that are in our connected apps so they appear to be in one place?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so you can bring any files from any of your connected apps into one of your Publist drives, and then you can organize them there however you'd like.
With folders, and we provide tools to organize.
I love it. All right, and we have two more questions. Guys, you are amazing. You are asking a lot. Thanks a lot. Question from Gabrap. Web download to cloud. Can it be done?
You mind repeating that question one more time?
Can I download something from web directly to Publist?
Not yet, but that is coming with our Chrome extension. So we'll add a web clip.
Amazing. But it will be available in upcoming days or months. So if you guys will buy a lifetime deal, you will get web downloads to cloud as well. All right, and question: will white labeling be included in lifetime deal?
Yes, it will. So we want to just have that be a part of our roadmap, and that's a feature that'll be coming out and available.
Amazing. All right, guys, I think we can slowly start showing what Publist looks like. What do you say?
Yeah, let's definitely do it.
All right. So can you start sharing your screen, please? And we will take a look into your platform. I'm really excited.
Yeah. So can everybody see?
I can see it. Very nice. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So here's Publist. I guess actually that's not a bad place to start. So here's our app installer screen. This is the big show. We've got, the apps that we support here, and then here's our coming soon list of everything. And I apologize, the screen share makes it a little bit slow, but I promise you this application is very fast. So I've got a few of these applications connected, the ones that I use most. So we can go look at, let's say,
do you want to show them how quick it is to connect them out?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So let's see if I can connect the Slack quickly. Yeah, hopefully we've got our Slack signed in.
So right now you're connecting your Slack, right?
So right now we're connecting.
So one unfortunate thing is it actually, to securely connect, Publist actually opens another window. And so I don't know if people can actually see that. I think people just see.
I cannot see it. So right now what you're seeing is another window where you're connecting your Slack.
Yes. So you'll notice that it's a secure sort of window that connects to Slack and talks to Slack so that we get authorization to get to the data. And so I just need to click install, and there we go. And it's done.
Now we can see it. App connected successful.
Exactly. It's really quick to connect apps.
And so it's going to start discovering Slack files. So why don't we take a look at, while it's doing that, actually, why don't we take a look at an existing Slack? So here's another.
And that's a really important thing to note when you guys are all connecting apps. Your files don't show up immediately. There's a little bit of latency. It takes a bit for us to find all the files, but then moving forward.
Before it will load, we have some more questions. Any plans to integrate Thunder Drive?
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of requests for that. So I think whether we want to or not, we'll be integrating Thunder Drive, which we'd very much like to.
All right, and a question from Joe. Please show your editor so we can see an example of editing something like, say, a Google Sheet within Publist.
Sure. So I'll show let me show our notes editor. So let me go to Publist. I think I've got a good note around here somewhere. Product update. Yes, yeah. So here's our here's our sort of our text editor. This would be, it's obviously a rich text editor, so I can kind of do anything I want with editing the document. It supports just as many sort of syntax and different formats as Google Docs, albeit with a few less fonts. But this is kind of a good example of just live. And this editor will become collaborative once we add teams, so people will be able to sort of edit together on this. And so I think that's probably a pretty good example. And then our editing support, it's good to note, is not great right now. We don't have editors built for a lot of documents, but we have editors that will be coming out for a lot of documents in the next probably 2 months, as editing is something that we really want to focus on.
But you were asking about Google Docs, and if you wanted to be making Google Docs and editing them from within Publist, you can also just hit create and then make Google Docs from within Publist.
My docs. So why don't we create a document here and just show that. So this will it'll just open the Google Doc. Hopefully that's shared, and then I just get that, and then we'll go back to Publist, so we can just type a little bit, and we'll see there's my doc right there. So it's organized within Publist and sort of easy to access.
I see. Okay.
So we could probably find some, now that everything's loaded, we could check out some files within our connected apps.
Yeah, so why don't we take a look at, this is Slack, for example. We can go to,
it's quite risky to open PNGs from Slack, I know.
Yeah, you never know. You
never know.
So I've got some of my Google Drive files here. I've got, why don't we go to Dropbox? So let's open, this is a very safe file. Why don't we get the get started with Dropbox file? So we'll just load that PDF.
That was fast.
It loads pretty quickly, although Dropbox makes a pretty good size PDF. And so we can just go, and this is our PDF viewer, and just look through that. Let's say I want to organize that file in Will's files. I can just drag it in and it'll load. And so this is what I mentioned, where that file is now using storage. And so it's actually stored in the Publist cloud, encrypted, and now it's sort of instantly accessible right within Publist.
That's so cool.
And then it's easy to download, view, share, rename, and sort of you get a lot more actions once it's in drives.
All right, we have a question from Somil. Is iCloud a part of the deal?
Unfortunately, Apple is, as the company they are, is very focused on security, so they don't have any APIs available to us. So iCloud is not something we can integrate right now, although I've heard rumors that Apple will be releasing an iCloud API that we'll be able to integrate with in the next few months, but I don't have an exact date on that. So I think we should be able to add iCloud, but we don't know exactly when.
All right. So, but I mean, if people will buy the lifetime deal right now, and you will include iCloud in the future, we'll still get it because you have a lifetime access. So it's
so the lifetime deal will include any integration that we build in the future.
Yep. Our roadmap is sort of meant to lay out exactly what we want to provide, at least in the next year, and then hopefully in years beyond that, we'll do so much more.
Guys, I love the UI. It's really intuitive. I mean, usually, it's quite it takes quite some time to explain everything, what you see in the app, but you went through it a little really fast. We can see pretty much everything there right now from the get-go. So.
That's been our biggest focus over the last few months. I cannot even begin to tell you how many people we've just talked to about, how this needs to look, what's going to be easy for them. Just gotten so much feedback, and so it's been great.
Yeah. Just as much as we're building features for the product, we're designing the product, and so.
And we have a really good question from Somia. How does it work when you're offline?
So right now, unfortunately, you need internet to connect to Publist. With our desktop app that's on the roadmap, it will allow you to make files available offline. Although only files you make available offline will use your hard drive storage. Our desktop app otherwise won't use your storage on your computer. So that's our plan for online or offline support in coming years.
Guys, this is exciting. I'm so glad that we are here together and that we are launching together on Pitchground. This is really cool. I'm glad that you you're here.
Yeah, we're really excited.
We couldn't wait for this day. This was a great thing.
I mean, for startup founders, you really like are building, you're putting day and night, all night, or 16 hours a day, and you're just waiting for a day to show it to the public and to hear that real feedback from people. And this is it. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, we're really
part of the journey. Yeah,
you guys.
All right, let me share my screen quickly. And before we will jump into the pricing and everything, let me tell you a little bit more about what you expect. So do you see my screen now?
Yes,
we do.
Yeah, it looks good.
All right, everybody. So this is actually the first webinar today, getting to know the founders, quick Publist walkthrough. And there are more webinars coming up. So second one is tomorrow. Which will be like detailed Publist features walkthrough, Q&A, showcase, and everything you need to know, like from technical perspective, from about Publist. And then on Monday, understanding the B2B cloud market in 2019 and why it's broken will be quite interesting. On Tuesday, learn how to quickly increase your productivity with Publist. Because I mean, if you won't be just searching for files 10 minutes a day, it will give you like in a week more than an hour. So it's actually a great way to increase your productivity and be to make more stuff done. And we'll discuss exactly this topic on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, Publist security overview. How safe are your files? I mean, you quite answered this question, but we will go deeper to it. And then Thursday, workflow optimization hacks 101. And on Friday, how to securely share, sync, and migrate your data. And there will be one bonus webinar, probably during this weekend, where we will be discussing, what was it, the roadmap?
So we just want to go into, everything that we're going to be able to do with apps, and like how apps can change the way you do work once we open apps up to third-party developers, everything that other people are going to be able to build onto Publist, and how easy that's going to be.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That one's going to be really exciting.
That will be really exciting. And before we'll continue, last question I see here from Somia. Is there an option to backup and sync?
With our desktop app, yes, there will be a sort of backup solution and a folder sync solution, so you can pick anything that you want to back up and it'll immediately save to Publist.
Love it. Guys, you're so fast. you have answer for everything. I mean, I can really see that you're putting in hours.
Yeah, it's our life. This is all we know.
All right, so guys, if you want to be part of this journey, if you want to like increase your productivity and be more amazing at what you do, let me tell you how you can buy your Publist and your Publist license, and you can actually test drive for the first time our Pitchground version 2. Publist is the first deal we are officially launching only on Pitchground version 2. So you can find it on pitchground.com/products/Publist. Make sure you will write the capital P, because we're still tweaking some bugs, but it's really working well. Don't worry. But about the licenses, we are starting at $49, which is pretty amazing considering what you are guys building and what are we can expect in the future. Like that's amazing. And with $49 lifetime, you will get 500 gigabytes of storage. You will get access to all the integration, all the future updates, all the features, unlimited members, no file upload limit, and many more things. And then there's a Publist 2 terabytes for $295 with 2 terabytes storage space, of course. And again, there are some bonuses. And then 4 terabytes plan for $495. And I mean, like terabytes, 4 terabytes. It's actually a lot of file space. I mean, what are you storing on 4 terabytes? I mean, like it's I think perfect for, let's say, who do you think would be like the perfect client for this like higher plans, guys?
Yeah, video makers, I'd say, is a big one. Anyone who stores a lot of audio, large PDFs. If you're backing files up, obviously you need a few terabytes to back up a variety of computers, but 4 terabytes is a lot of storage.
That is a lot of storage, yeah.
You and I both know, Jacob, that like marketers too, if we have any of those in the group, I mean, there's so much marketing material that you guys are using And so it's been amazing for me. And then I have all that material spread out across so many apps. So it's been good.
Yeah, like imagine that you are guys like searching for some sales presentation right before some important meeting, and you don't remember if it was on Dropbox, Google Drive. Like this will exactly solve your issue, among, of course, many others. And there are more available licenses, of course, too. So if you need a lot of storage, this 695 license is perfect actually for you, and you will get 6 terabytes. So guys, make sure you will go to pitchground.com/products/Publist and grab your license right now, because there's literally no reason to wait. So if you like this webinar, and I believe you have, guys, make sure you will join tomorrow as well, when we will be talking about like in detail about all the features and everything what can Publist actually help you with, and we'll walk you through everything. So guys, is there anything you want to add?
I think that covered it all. That sounded
this was a lot of fun. We're just really excited to be working with you, and really excited to share Publist with everybody. It's finally out, so can't wait to join the webinars in the next few days.
And always feel free to reach out to me on Facebook. I'm always available to talk to you guys. So yeah, love getting the feedback. Love hearing from you guys.
Yeah, please.
I mean, that's one of the huge benefits of actually launching on Pitchground, because you guys can get into touch with, from your side, you can get into touch with real users, and users can get in touch with founders. So you can be like in a really close conversation, and like tweak your products, ask questions about feedback and about the features and how you like it, and so on. So I think it's an amazing opportunity, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to guys on Facebook, and they will answer you. So yeah. And we have last question from Bill. Please talk about S3. I'm afraid we are quite out of time, Bill, right now, but I'm pretty sure that we will cover it in next webinars. So make sure you will join tomorrow or next week, and I promise we will talk about S3 more, because I know that's a quite important topic. All right.
Great talk.
Bill, Ben, that was amazing. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
and I will see you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. All right. Thanks a lot, guys, and bye.
Bye, everyone.